Alright, so this is part 2 of the water pump change. I had to hurry up and put this thing kind of back together. Housing got on my butt for working in the parking lot, but as you can see, the water pump's on. When I put that on, before I put the rest of the stuff on, I filled the coolant reservoir full of coolant and let it sit overnight to make sure it wasn't leaking. And then I put the alternator bracket back on, injection pump, and then put the lines to the injection pump back on. And I just have the pulley sitting here for right now. I haven't torqued it to spec. I think it's 38 or 33 foot-pounds. I'll have to double check before I do that. Right now I am making sure the cam is timed correctly, since the bottom end is already done. And then for the injection pump, I just have to put the pin in. It goes right here in this hole, and it comes out back there under that hole. While I have the manifold or the valve cover off, I'm going to go ahead and change the valve cover gasket. As you can see, mine's leaking pretty bad down both sides here. So I'll show you how to time the cam, or make sure it's in the right position, here shortly. Alright, so for the cam, these two lobes should be pointing slightly up. This one looks like it's off just a hair, but they put a little notch back here, and there's a plate that's supposed to go in there, and it sits flush across here to make sure it's level, and so you can hold it in place. You can use a wrench. It's like slightly off, see? But you can use a wrench if you don't have the proper tool to do it. But I'm going to get this aligned, and then we'll double check the crank shaft positioning, and then put the pump in at the time after I tighten that nut down. Alright, I don't have the nut tightened down yet, but it's because it's turning on me, and I also don't have the tool, the pin that goes in here, but I found that a 10mm fits in there perfectly. So use that to hold it in place, and then torque the nut. Alright, so as you can see, fits in there, and let me see here, and you'll be able to see it right out the back right there, and that'll hold it in place while you torque the nut and put the timing belt on. I tried an 11mm because there is a little bit of play here. 11mm is a little too big. I probably could find a metric deep wall socket, but should be fine. Alright, so pump's in time. The camshaft is in time. Fits in there nice and evenly. And then if you look down here, if I can get it in there without blocking the light, the crank is in time. So now I'm going to put all my stuff in place and route the timing belt. Once the timing belt's on, I'm going to turn it over by hand a few times, make sure it doesn't, the pistons don't hit the valves, and then I'll take it for a drive if it's good to go. No, fuck me. Alright, so this is why we double check things here. Got the timing belt on, but look what's not lined up anymore. Timing belt's coming back off, and we're going to try again. So I got the timing belt on, made sure everything was timed up right, changed the valve cover gasket. I'm about to put the airbox back on, and the timing belt cover is back on. But when I got the timing belt on, I turned it over by hand a couple revolutions to make sure it wasn't, the valves weren't hitting the pistons, and I turned it on and it was running good. So I'm going to put it back together and then we'll go for a test drive. Also, I should mention it's going to be really hard to get this thing started once you crack the injector lines. So you can either crank it with the injector lines cracked until you get fuel, or what I did was I put a lift pump. Let me see if I can put a lift pump right there, and I have it wired up to the fuse box, so when I need it I turn it on, and it helps with the helps with when I have to do work on the engine and crack the injectors, or if it sits for too long and ends up losing prime or something. Alright, so test drive went good. The belt didn't walk off and it's not moving, so that's good. This belt's good. I still have to fix the wire here, but I'll do that later today. But yeah, that's how you put the water pump on and retime it. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. It'd be greatly appreciated.